Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live pop-up chat. Here I am, I've popped up and I am with you today because those horrible vicious rumours are continuing. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? The media have found a thread and they are running with it. Why not? Why not? I'll tell you why not, because most of it is unconfirmed babble, but we shall go on to that in a moment. I do have a whole page of notes again, which we are going to go through. Now I am going to try and find the chat room a little bit earlier on today because I want to make sure that I'm able to speak to everybody. So I'm just trying to bring that up now. So I went through quite a few different titles for the title of this video. I settled upon obviously the one that you can see now, Harry and Meghan Rumours Continued, because I couldn't fit it all into the main title, basically. So today we are going to be taking a look at mainly two separate rumours, but they all kind of thread into the whole narrative that's been going on for, what, over a week now. So the first one we will be taking a look at is the accusation that that Harry and Meghan's move to Frogmore Cottage will cost the taxpayer £5 million in security costs. So we'll be taking a look at that. And in the second half, we will be taking a look at this proposed fallout between the brothers, which I thought from my previous video, I thought the narrative had changed. I thought the media was changing tack. But we'll go through what they are concocting now in the second half. So I can see the chat room, so I'm going to just click on that and bring it all up. And then we'll get into the main bulk of the video. Let's have a look who's here. Ooh, okay. I'm going to set it to live chat so I can get everyone's comments in real time. Lots of people saying hello. And Jamie says, first time I've watched you live in 4D. Am I 4D? Maybe you can see my tiara better in 4D. Does it sparkle? It's the Queen Victoria sapphire replica tiara, by the way, in case you were looking. Lots of people saying hello. So hello to everyone who has joined. And let's get straight into the video. So, the first accusation comes from, again, a lot of these are from the Daily Mail, but the Daily Mail has also kind of copied other articles from other news publications, so it's quite hard to actually decipher where some of these stories actually originated from. It's becoming harder and harder to do that, so I'm just going to go with what I've seen and we'll try and kind of unpick it and discuss it. So let me know at any point your thoughts on this. So the accusation is that the taxpayers, i.e. the British public, are going to face a £5 million security bill for the first year, I think this is claimed, when Harry and Meghan moved to Frogmore. Now, I put a note on here saying, based on what? What on earth is going to cost £5 million? Now, we'll get into what some of the proposed things are, and let me know whether you think that costs £5 million. In dollars, in US dollars, 5 million is probably round about the $7 million mark, so bear that figure in mind when I'm reading some of these things out. So they reckon that Frogmore is in an exposed location, and it is in a publicly accessible park, which is Windsor Great Park. But the Frogmore estate, I do believe, is something like 33 maybe acres, thereabouts, I think. Yeah, it's round about 33 acres. I'm just looking at my other notes from the previous video, because it did say something about where it is situated, and I think it's here. Here we go. So the actual Frogmore, which is in Windsor Great Park, so the Windsor Great Park is the publicly accessible park, but the Frogmore grounds are classed as sitting in the Windsor Security Zone. So therefore, that bit isn't necessarily as open to the public as what you might think. But anyway, the whole of Windsor Great Park is publicly accessible. They say that Frogmore Cottage has a proximity to the Long Walk. I mean, it's not a million miles away, but it's not exactly straddling it, shall we say. And other public roads, and it says on some occasions only 6-foot walls surround the public roads. which is true for some things. Now, Ken Worth, who is a highly respectable former security close protection officer who closely protected Princess Diana in her day, said that the costs could balloon to £5 million in the first year. Now that seems an extraordinary amount to me. He says that there is no current protection at Frogmore because no royal lives there. Well, I can agree with that. No royal lives there, so there wouldn't need to be an excessive amount of security. However, I wouldn't agree that there is no security because, of course, we do have Frogmore House and staff live and work on the estate. So there would be some security to stop people breaking in, for example, to the main house. So there will be some protection, but obviously not enough for Harry and Meghan when they move in there. He says that 2 or 3 protection officers will be needed. Well, again, I say, why would that cost extra? Because Harry and Meghan already have their own close protection officer assigned to them individually. So you aren't going to have extra. Maybe what he means is extra regular policemen situated at the gates, for example. Maybe that's what he means, but I don't think there's going to be an extra cost in close protection because Harry and Meghan already have it. Unless, of course, I'm not understanding something or I've got something wrong. But that just doesn't make sense to me. So the area, the local area, is policed by Thames Valley Police, and Ken Worth says that there will be a major security review, which of course there will be whenever you get any high-profile individual that would be at risk moving to the area. Now, apparently there are talks between Thames Valley Police and the Metropolitan Police and Kensington Palace to agree what these arrangements are, what the needs are, and what should be put into place. Now, it is very important to note that similar security measures and steps were put in place at Anmer Hall, which is, of course, the country property of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. So it's not new. The same happened for William and Catherine. The same is happening for Harry and Meghan. Let's just bear that in mind slightly. Going back to costs, again, the cost of the building work are to be met by the sovereign grant. Now, the sovereign grant is money that is given to the sovereign to perform the duties of monarchy. So, yes, that is technically a cost to the taxpayer. However, what you've got to remember is, let's just say it costs £4 million to do up. I don't think it will cost £4 million. I think for £4 million you could probably, which is one of the figures that's been bandied around, for £4 million you could buy a piece of land, secure it yourself, and build something 10 times as big. So I don't think renovating a cottage would cost that much money. But let's just call it 4 million, just out of whatever. So the sovereign, the grant, the Queen isn't going to be given an extra £4 million to cover the cost of this. So the taxpayer isn't going to be paying any more than what they normally would to the Queen. Actually, what's going to happen is that the Queen will be £4 million down on other things. So she'll have to probably make cuts elsewhere to be able to afford the £4 million or whatever it ends up being. The renovation costs for Harry and Meghan. If not, she may even be drawing from a surplus, that kind of thing. So the taxpayer isn't going to pay any more than what they normally do. It's just about the reallocation of money within the royal household funds, if you get me. So it's not actually going to cost, the net cost to the taxpayer won't be any more than what it is annually anyway. So there we go. Now, a planning officer has spoken out, who, as we know, a lot of the plans are under high security, so they are not made accessible to the public. However, the planning officer that approved the final plans commented that parts of the cottage and the studio that are currently there have fallen into disrepair. I think on one of my live chats or something like that, I said that the cottage was dilapidated, and I kind of took that back a little bit because it's not maybe dilapidated, but it is certainly run down, and it will require an awful amount of work to turn back from these 5 one-bedroom apartments into one family home. The fact it's grade 2 listed as well means that there are even more constraints and preservation aspects that need to be followed. So it is a major, major work. So there we go. I'm going to see what you all think about the costs. So let's have a look of the security. I'm going to go up to where I can see people saying lots of different comments. Let's have a look. Lots of people talking about the fake news. Yes, lots of fake news going on. Let's have a look. Cleopatra says, I love your Christmas jumper. Thank you. It goes well with the tiara, don't you think, with the blue stones? I do like it. Pam G says, hi Elliot, I was thinking about Royal Reviewer last night when I read all about the problems with the young royals. Sickening. It is indeed. Nafeta says, I actually think there is a campaign against Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan. There's certainly something, but whatever it is, I think it's driven by money because they know that bad news gets clicks. I mean, there was a story, I mean, I don't know how true it is. There was a story about Catherine perhaps potentially crying when Charlotte was getting fitted for her bridesmaid's dress. And I'm thinking, the whole spin was that it was like negative tears. And I'm thinking, if you're a mother and you're seeing your child trying on a bridesmaid's dress, even if it's not the first time, could it not possibly be tears of pride? But no, tears of pride don't sell, whereas tears of anguish and whatever, and upset, they do sell. So it's just, it's the angles that people go at. I don't know. Candice Bavaria says, there is a disputing any furore between Kate and Meghan. We'll get to the Kate and Meghan thing in a bit. Jane Eyre says, it's hard at this point to know precisely where it's coming from, but it is clear there is a campaign. Kimberly M says, Camilla is an associate editor at The Express, and she's the same person who wrote the false article about the Al-Manar Mosque. I don't think I've seen that article. So there we go. And yes, I agree, it is getting out of hand, all of this fake news. I'm going to try and scroll down until I can see anything about the costs. Lauren Walk says, congratulations on over 71,000 subscribers. Thank you. Ubernet says, the royal family needs a better PR team. The upgrade is needed because of the increased attention. Natheta Pri says, I do not think the cost is going to be no more than any other renovation to the other ones. Why is this one such a big story? I agree. And I just, going back to the £5 million security figure, where is that coming from? I mean, a close protection officer, I mean, how much do they cost a year? I don't know the precise cost, but I know it's not millions. I mean, my goodness. You know, positioning a few officers outside the entrance if they need to. I mean, what a police officer? 40,000 a year? So that's £80,000 a year for two, you know, officers to be positioned at the gates, perhaps. You know, it doesn't add up to £5 million. I mean, what are they going to have? Cannon fire positioned at the gates? Are they going to have, you know, what is it? What are they going to have? I don't know. Are they going to have a nuclear base installed for £5 million? I don't know. But it just seems a wildly exaggerated cost. Yes, there are cost implications to security, but I very much doubt it's £5 million in 1 year. That seems an awful lot. Anyway, I'm going to move on now to the royal falling out between Harry and William and Catherine and Meghan. Oh, my goodness. It's kind of exhausting, but let's carry on. So, the accusations are that Prince Harry fell out, and I, in quotes, fell out with William, who, and another quote, felt he wasn't rolling out the red carpet for Meghan. Okay. Felt he wasn't rolling out the red carpet for Meghan. That's kind of quite a claim. So I instantly thought to myself, what red carpet? I mean, not a physical red carpet, I know. But the thing is, Harry and Meghan, when they were dating, even after the engagement, were very low-key and private. They didn't want anything paraded around in particular. Before the engagement, Harry issued that statement trying to protect their privacy. After the engagement, they were still very low-key. So what rolling out of the red carpet did Harry want William to make? I don't know. It certainly wouldn't have been anything public. And in terms of behind the scenes, what's that got to do with William? If anybody needed to roll out the red carpet who was in charge of the family, it's either the Queen or Prince Charles. Those are the people who have the power to, invite to different places and do all these things. William, in his position, what's that got to do with him? It's actually got nothing. William can't do anything other than just be a supportive brother, which I'm sure he has been. So that whole statement about rolling out the red carpet, what did they want him to do? I don't know. We already found out from the engagement interview that Meghan had already met with the Queen, Prince Charles. They'd already done all of that, so she had been welcomed into the family behind closed doors. There were, rumours going around that Catherine had had tea with Meghan on several occasions, that Catherine had helped Meghan with certain things and trying to guide her through some of the things that she might encounter in her new royal life. Meghan herself said that Catherine had been very supportive, so I don't know what they think William could have done more. What? I mean, tell me what. I don't know. So I just thought that was a little bit ludicrous, really, and I don't think that that is true. I think it's, again, playing into this whole narrative of tensions between the brothers. I thought we got away from all these tensions, but no, they're back. Like a bad smell, they're back. Anyway, carrying on. So apparently Catherine had to step in on the advice of Prince Charles. Prince Charles had to step in, and then Catherine stepped in, and that meant that it was at that point that William and Catherine invited Harry and Meghan to Anmer Hall, which is near Sandringham, for Christmas. So apparently Harry and Meghan stayed with Catherine and William at Christmas. I can't remember back that far where I thought they stayed, whether it was with the Queen at Sandringham or whether it was Anmer. I can't remember from the time. I'd have to go back and check some articles about where it said they were staying. If you can remember, please let me know. But so much royal stuff is in my head. Some things just go. So I can't remember. But apparently the new claim is that Harry and Meghan stayed with the Cambridges at Anmer. So that was supposed to be an extension of welcoming Meghan in because Prince Charles had put his foot down. I mean, I don't think that bit is true. I think the welcoming them in, yes, of course, that's, that's understandable. But the reasoning behind it, it just plays into that whole tensions narrative, and it might not be true. So let's just bear that in mind completely. So some of the other things I've put is, yes, what could William have done to roll out the red carpet? I don't know. I've already said about it not being his place. And I've already said that Harry wanted privacy. And Meghan did actually meet the family. So I just can't see any basis in truth for that. Now, the next claim is that William has not been making an effort to welcome Meghan in. And that led to frictions and tensions between the brothers. Again, I don't think so. Not making an effort? Really? Ugh. And sources claim the tensions were resolved when Prince Charles stepped in, and any issues in quotes, are between the brothers and not the wives. So, I think what the media is saying is that all those claims that there were falling out between Catherine and Meghan aren't true. They're now going back to the narrative of that it was tensions between the brothers. However, it's all been sorted out now. I don't know about you, but I am certainly feeling exhausted with all of this royal gossip. I mean, there are probably little threads of truth throughout the whole thing, but then these little snippets of truth get exploited into whole other things. And once a narrative is put out there, they find it really hard to get away from it. And of course, Kensington Palace hasn't issued anything formal to deny or say it's true. They would never do that. They don't comment on anything personal like that. They were forced into commenting that the Frogmore Cottage story was true. I don't think they would have gone down that road yet. I think they would have waited until well after Christmas before announcing that. However, they were kind of forced into it. I want to see what you guys are saying. Let's just go up a little bit. H. London says, rumours and lies get attention and money. They do indeed. Nafeta Pri says, before she was engaged to Prince Harry, Meghan never received bad press. She was well liked by everyone she met. Why are all these stories coming out all of a sudden now? Again, I just think it sells. Bad news sells, good news doesn't necessarily. Deb Mack says, I will never believe William and Harry don't love each other and would do anything to help each other no matter. They are just adjusting to having new lives and a family. Exactly. And we know that once William becomes Prince of Wales, he will need his own separate household. But I think it really is telling that they have kept their offices together at Kensington Palace, even though Harry and Meghan have moved out. It would be easier to have separate offices now that they've moved out. However, Frogmore isn't big enough in terms of their house to house the offices too. So the brothers are still going to be working incredibly closely together. Cleopatra says, I think they're spreading all of this narrative that Meghan Markle is coming between Prince Harry and everybody else. It's disgusting. They are indeed. Andre Dan says, once again, it's jealousy and battle for who is the best maybe. Yes, I've seen lots of comparing Duchess against Duchess articles as well. Angel says, I know the rules stay quiet. However, in this time when social media adds more noise to tabloids and news outlets, do you think it's time the royals get control of this? The problem is, if you do start to open your mouths and comment on every single little bit of false news, the problem is there might be more of it because they want comment. So it's a fine line, and yes, it's a fine line. Wendy says all of this needs to stop. On the Rift is that these fake news agencies are spewing. It's time to stop, and they are very prolific at all of this fake news too. Deb Mack says, I love the royal family and I am from the US. I have watched these boys grow up on TV and it would break my heart to see any trouble between them. I would agree. Jane says, Elliot is the best. Well, thank you. He helped sort it all out. Let's all have a Merry Christmas and wish best for all. And I hope I don't have to come on again and do another one of these Royal Harry and Meghan Rumours videos. Kathy G says, is this because the Australian tour went so well? It was a very successful tour, and who knows? I just think, it's going into Christmas. They want stories. Pam G says, exactly. Here we are in 2018, and this kind of beep is still going on in the press. I feel sorry for the royals. Heartbreaking to have their fake lives trumpeted all around the world. Andre Dan says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too. And Deb Mack says, thank you so much. You are the only channel I listen to. Mary says, didn't Catherine say to someone how excited she is for the new baby? Yes, she did. Does that look like lots of animosity to you? And how wonderful it will be for the kiddies to have a cousin. Exactly. So they're still going to be close. Catherine and Meghan might not be, bestest of best friends, but it doesn't mean they don't like each other. They don't have to be joined at the hip. Jamie smells something. I wonder what it could be. Melfon says, American press is saying that the British press has begun this negative narrative because the Great British press will earn more restricted access to the Sussexes when they move to... they will have even more... Yes, it will be more restricted for them. It will indeed. Chelsea says, I was so shocked when I saw this on our local news station this morning. Well, don't be so shocked because it probably isn't true. Tiffany says, I think Harry wants his first child raised out of the spotlight. William did the same thing with George. He did indeed. And nobody said anything bad about that, did they? You think Meghan is going along with what her husband wants? I think they both are. I mean, Meghan seems a very homely person. We know she is with the cooking. And I think she wants this move as much as Harry, I think. And I agree, the media will not stop. And Barbara says, I appreciate your positive reporting. Well, of course, you are more than welcome. I will always try and tell the truth. And even if we don't necessarily know what the truth is, because nothing's confirmed, I will always try and rationalise it out so that we can at least have, a rational debate about things other than just listening to regurgitated news which starts somewhere and then just gets spread around like butter on a piece of bread. It gets spread and it's the same old stuff all the time, just I call it regurgitated. It's just the same old news regurgitated across the internet, across blogs, and yeah, no one actually looks into, could it possibly be true? And that kind of really annoys me a lot. Ned says, I can't believe I found me. Oh, I think Ned needs to be removed. Shall we remove Ned? I was going to say read his comment, but I think we shall remove him. There we go. Goodbye, Ned. Mary says, as a mother myself, I wonder how difficult this would be for Doria. I mean, again, we still don't know. There were reports or rumours that Doria is in the country now, although I haven't seen any evidence of that, so I don't know. Again, we don't know if she's going to Christmas with Harry and Meghan at Sandringham with the Queen. Again, we'll have to wait and see. It's, we'll soon find out because it's coming up to Christmas. We've only got, what, a few weeks away until the 25th. So yes, we will find out very soon. But nothing has been confirmed or announced that Doria is coming for Christmas, although it is more than likely that she probably will. Realist says, by discussing the lies and fake news, we are giving them strength. The thing to do is don't need to pay attention. Well, I tried that for a very, very long time. But the problem is, I just get loads of comments from people in my comment section of the videos and people talking to me in my live chat on every Saturday at 10 o'clock GMT time. And people really seriously watch this stuff and don't know, rightly so, they don't know whether it's true or false because it's being presented as the truth, and it's just not, and people get confused, and I don't like to see people being confused. I want people to know what is true, what's not true, what we don't know, what we need to wait and see. I want people to know that, and I don't want people just to believe all this nasty rumours that go round because, it can be hard to decipher. Karen says, I do not think Doria is in England. Well, I haven't seen any evidence of it. And you say, because the American news always shows her leaving for her flight. Aha, well, there you have it. She probably isn't here then. That was probably another lie. Lovely one says, thank you for doing this video. I look to you for the truth regarding the royal family. I look forward to all of your videos. I wait for you. Thank you. And Asma says, I'm sorry I forgot to say hello. Hello to you. But you're just frustrated with the whole situation. I can understand why. Cheryl says, you know what you're talking about. I do try. And if I don't, I try and do some research. Robin says, it's been confirmed that Doria is not in the UK by Omid Scobie. I haven't seen that, but again, if we know that she hasn't left America and we haven't seen photographs of her in the UK, then that's probably true and correct. Valid says, do you think the Fab Four should go on a joint engagement to settle the rumours? It's kind of playing again into the media's hand. I think we will see lots of joint endeavours in the future. Maybe not before Christmas, but certainly with the Royal Foundation, there will be occasions when they are all together. I don't know which ones, but it will happen. No, I don't know if Doria has a boyfriend. And Vivian says, I enjoy your video. Well, thank you so much. What time are we right now? Okay. I'm going to leave this here now before it gets way too long. I've spoken about what I want to speak about, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to come here and do a pop-up video of something different other than these horrible rumours. So if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. How many people are watching? 212. So I expect at least 212 thumbs ups. Please share on social media, and of course hit the notification bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So from me in Shropshire, I think I need to cool off with a little bit of rose mist. After all those rumours, they get me all hot and bothered, so let's just flat that fan one last time and dry myself off. A little bit of wind. So, from me in Shropshire, all rose misted, goodbye.